Hi everybody, my name is Quincy Robinson and I welcome you to my channel, Beyond the Cave. And in this channel we're going to be talking a lot about mindset. And the cave, when I say beyond the cave, it's going beyond the false beliefs the network of false beliefs that we have about ourselves. So the cave is defined as the network of false beliefs that we hold about ourselves. And so we believe that when you go beyond the cave, you're going beyond the limitations that you placed on yourself. You're going beyond the story that you used to tell yourself about your past, about your value, about your worth. And you're going beyond these limiting beliefs. And then you're going beyond that to get to the other side of your pain, to step into your passion, your purpose, and to live life unapologetically and abundantly. And this is important because the mind is a terrible thing to waste. My uncle told me that when I was younger. Boy, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And he would say that, when you joke. My uncle had a lot of sayings that he would share with my brother and I, my siblings and I. And that was one of the ones that really stuck out. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. And oftentimes when we hear that statement, we're usually talking about, not wasting your time in school. He was encouraging us to do our homework, try our best, and those type of environment, those type of things. But I want to invite you to think about it from a different way. What type of environment are you having inside of your mind? Where is the place where your thoughts of hope and possibility in your future, all those thoughts, see, a thought is a seed. And so when you have a seed, it has to go in the right ground and be in the right environment to grow. And so what is the environment of your mind that will allow your seed, your thoughts of a future, of a better future, of a better tomorrow, the hope you have for yourself, the vision you have for yourself, the goal you have for yourself? What is the environment of your mind that will allow you to get to the life you want? Because what I have found is that we have this narrative, this old story. I call it the old story that we usually show up in the world with. And the old story typically sounds something like this. Hi, my name is Quincy Robinson, and when I was young, I grew up in poverty. I grew up in a home with disadvantaged circumstances, and I remember those times where we didn't have lights. I remember times where we had to run the extension cord from my neighbor's house to have lights in the house. I remember there was times where we left in the morning and we wasn't sure if we was going to eat that night because the refrigerators and the cabinets were empty. And as a result of that, I began to go deep within myself and try to survive. The end. So that's the story. Now, there's nothing wrong with that because those are factual things that happen in my life. But the issue is when I keep rehearsing that particular story, I'm creating an environment in my mind of lack, scarcity, and not enough. And so when I begin to think, oh man, I can start this business. But that thought is being planted in an environment where you have lack, scarcity, and not enough. And so that can translate into your day-to-day life as an I'm not enough, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough skill, I don't have enough competence. All of these things where you're talking about I'm not enough, I'm not. As opposed to looking at your power story. All right. My name is Quincy Robinson, and I was born in a family of five children, and I was the baby. I was never by myself because I was born in a world with my twin brother. And so I always had a connection with him. I always had a connection with people. And because I shared that close space with my brother, I really like to be intimate and go close and go deeper with people. I was always surrounded by people who loved me and cared for me and make sure I had the best. I was always motivated and uplifted by my mother, my father. I was taught to pray. I was taught to worship. I was taught the value of family. I was taught the value of the dollar. See, that is a much more powerful story than I grew up in poverty, I'm a victim, boom, 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 boom. Both are true, but one, I'm able to produce a positive environment in my mind, and that every positive seed that is planted in my mind can now prosper and grow, because the Bible says, so as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Okay, so when I begin to think, my thoughts have the propensity to become who I am. And so there's a very strong significance about the mind and what we're doing with the mind and how we foster an environment. And so when I also produce that good environment, when I also produce the positive environment of growth and possibility, abundance and possibility, when that is the environment of my mind, then that means the other negative thoughts that are trying to plant, they may come, but they cannot stay because they don't have the environment to grow. And so what you're doing when you're changing the environment of your mind, when you're changing that story, your personal narrative, you are setting yourself up to achieve whatever it is you put your mind to doing. Because in your mind, you are learning to be persuaded. You are learning to be convinced that no matter what you do, it's possible. I have abundance, because that's the only thing that your mind knows how to do. And so when we're going to learn in this channel how to really deal with our mindsets, how to look at what we're doing, what's going on in our thoughts, what's going on in our mental environment, and then we're going to learn how to change that and foster a positive mental environment. And so we can get out of this cave, the network of false beliefs that we hold about ourselves, and go beyond that into possibility, into abundance, into it's possible. And so with that being said, I am your brother. I want to invite you to join the conversation below. Tell me your thoughts. If you agree or disagree, okay? How do you think our mental environments have an effect on how we show up in the world and how we play? Because I would love to hear your comments. And thank you for joining us at Beyond the Cave. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.